The Golden Ass is an ancient Roman novel written by Apuleius, but there is one big question we believe needs to be answered about it. Is it still important and relevant to modern society, and if so, why? How can something that was created so long ago still be relatable and hold important commentary on a time Apuleius could have had no idea would exist? The truth is that one of the main ideas it touches upon is still a largely important issue in our modern society: the exploitation of labor and the cruelty that is used to perpetuate it. The story of the Golden Ass follows the journey of a man named Lucius, whose curiosity ends up cursing him to become a donkey. From that moment on, his life changes completely. Ownership of him transfers among many people in ancient Rome through a mixture of banditry and fortune. But one thing remains constant throughout his journey: his cruel exploitation at the hands of those who own him. In many ways, Lucius, during his time as a donkey, represents the working class. As a donkey, he is overworked and abused for the benefit of others, never receiving any benefit himself. In Book 7 of The Golden Ass, Lucius recounts his experiences in a mill after being rescued from bandits along with Charite. In this mill, he is worked to the bone and, in his own words, not even fed the usual ration of food for these hard labors. Later, in Book 9, Lucius describes another mill. This one stood out not because of the working conditions, but because of the beaten and battered slaves working alongside him. These mills serve as an important symbol in the story. They highlight not only the way the working class was cruelly exploited, but also the system used to oppress them, a system built on socioeconomic pressure and physical violence. This idea is reinforced by modern analysis. In Paolo Tedesco's work, For Roman Workers, Life Was Nasty, Brutish, and Short, we see how both slaves and poor citizens competed for jobs in agriculture, households, and mines under brutal conditions. Under this system, especially with structures like latifundia, these groups were further economically suppressed. The very basis of this economy was built on inequality, and it thrived because of it. So this brings us back to an important question. Why does this matter to us today? The answer is simple: because the system that oppressed people so long ago is still around today. It just has a different name and a new coat of paint. As Stefan Boncinelli explains in Income Inequality and Social Mobility, the divide between the wealthy and the working class continues to grow. Wealth is being concentrated among elites, while the working class is losing access to education and economic opportunity. This divide is maintained through the removal of opportunity, the same mechanism that existed in the ancient Roman world. A modern example of this can be seen in the kafala system. As described by Sunmez and others, this system has been compared to modern-day slavery. Workers are subjected to harsh conditions, restricted freedoms, and exploitation that reinforces the power of those above them. Just like in ancient Rome, cruelty is used to maintain control. Now imagine yourself as Lucius in the mill. You are beaten and battered, forced to work without proper compensation. Your life is controlled by those you serve, and sometimes it feels like your death would be nothing more than an inconvenience to them. If you try to apply this idea to the modern world, you might think things are different. You might say we have more rules, or that we are more civilized. But on April 6th, 2026, in an Amazon warehouse, a worker collapsed on a loading dock. When someone asked to help, they were told to return to work. That worker died, and others were ordered to continue working around the scene for over an hour. In Book 9, Lucius is owned by a poor gardener. This gardener treats him better than most, but even then, the system intervenes. A soldier pressures the gardener under threat of violence. The gardener resists, but is ultimately arrested. Lucius is taken once again. In another case, a warehouse in California was burned down by someone who claimed they could not afford to live. Whether you agree with the act or not, the motive matters. It reflects the economic pressure people are under, the same kind of systemic oppression that has existed for centuries.